Happy birthday to the late great legendary Andre the Giant and legendary NBA player Kevin Garnett. Xavier back again with another video, and welcome to part 62 of my gameplay of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. So in the last part we had a brutal ass battle between the imprisoned monster and send him back where he belongs. So now we're here and we finally get to reunite with Zelda. Let's talk to this guy real quick. At last, I've been expecting you, Shinsuke. You are double as overwhelmed, so I will explain things as simply as I can. This is the Temple of Hylia, though it come to be known as the Sealed Temple sometime in the future. You stand in the past, ages before your own time. Here the goddess, Hylia, has only just sealed away demised. And little time has passed since the goddess sent the outcropping of rock into the sky that would one day become Skyloft. It is true to its name. You have passed through the gate of time to an era in the distant past. You have many questions, but for now, you must proceed back through the great doors behind you. It is there that the person you risk life and blood to defend waits for you. You've come so far, Shinsuke. I'm glad you made it. I imagine Impa filled you in on everything. We traveled very far from home to the distant past. In this era, the wounds inflicted on the land during the battle between the goddess and the demon king known as Demise have not yet healed. All the fairy tales about that war we heard growing up in Skyloft, incredible as it may seem, they appear to be all too real. I think it's time you learn the whole story. Let me try to explain. The old gods created a supreme power that gave anyone who possessed it the ability to shape reality and fulfill any desire. They call it the Triforce. In his thirst to make the world his own, Demise readied a massive army of monsters for war. He sought to take the Triforce for himself by force. The goddess feared for her people. She used her power to send both them and the Triforce into the sky on a slice of earth she cut away from the land. This floating rock became the new home of our people. In time, it came to be known as Skyloft. After a long and fierce battle, the goddess Hylia succeeded in sealing away Demise. However, soon after the Demon King was imprisoned, it became clear that the seal would not hold on long against his fearsome power. Hylia has suffered grave injuries in her battle with the Demon King. She knew that if he broke free again, there would be no stopping him. And if the Demon King were to set free himself, it would mean the end of the world for all beings of this land. In order to put an end to the Demon King, Hylia devised two separate plans and set them both into motion. First, she created fire. She made the spirit that resides in your sword to serve a single purpose, to assist her chosen hero on his mission. Her second plan was to abandon her divine form and transfer her soul to the body of a mortal. She made the sacrifice, as you have likely guessed, so that the supreme power created by the old gods could one day be used. For a while, the supreme power of the Triforce was created by gods. All of its power can never be wielded by one. Knowing this power was her last and only hope, the goddess gave up her divine powers and her immortal form. You probably figured it out by now, haven't you, Shinsuke? You are the chosen hero, and I, Zelda. I am the goddess reborn as a mortal. The day of the ceremony, Girahim's tornado tossed me out of the sky and down to the world below. I was nearly captured by the demonic forces, but I was rescued at the last moment by the old woman who lives in the sealed grounds. I had no memory at all of my existence as Hylia, but she explained it to me. She helped me to remember who I was and what I had to do. I set out to pray at the goddess statues located in each temple across the land. Each statue stirred up memories within me. After I visited them all, Impa, an agent of the goddess, led me here to the past. All of this is part of the same great effort to prevent the revival of the demise. Stripped of his true physical form by the seal that binds him, he takes the shape of an abomination. But even in his hideous state, he's more than capable of devouring this land if we allow him to do what he desires. We must stop him from freeing himself from the seal that imprisons him at any cost. That is why I intend to remain here in this time and place, to sustain the seal the best as I can. As long as I continue this vigil, we may be able to prevent the Demon King from fully reviving himself in our own time. I must maintain the seal that Hylia, rather that I, created so long ago, and keep it strong for as long as I am able. With the memories of my former life returning to me, I can see now that this is my purpose. What? Shinsuke, the goddess created Fi and the Great Blade she's a part of for very specific reasons. For the task of standing against demise in the monstrous form he now assumes rests solely on your shoulders. Back in our own time, you've already driven him back into his prison twice now. I can't thank you enough for that, Shinsuke. During your long journey, you've grown so much. You learn wisdom from solving devious puzzles and traps. You gain power by honoring and tempering both yourself and your sword. And by overcoming the trials set before you by the goddess, you found true courage. Now that those qualities reside in you, you are worthy of wielding the power the old gods left behind for our kind. You can claim the Triforce. Valiant hero, you have endured many hardships and journeyed far in your quest to reach this place. Along your travels, you have found wisdom, power, and courage. For this, I shall bless your sword with the goddess power. May it give you and your sword the strength to drive back the abomination that threatens this land. The mark you see upon the back of your hand is proof that you are the hero of legend and that within you dwells sacred power. It is the mark of the Triforce. Stand now, Shinsuke. Draw your sword. The goddess has blessed your blade, and the Master Sword has at last achieved its ultimate form. The sword is now imbued with the mythical power to drive back demons, and only Shinsuke may wield it. Shinsuke, before I say another word, I feel like I owe you an apology. You see, the mark of the Triforce on your hand is a symbol of the greatest power in this world. If you can obtain the actual Triforce, we will have the power to vanquish demise once and for all. The problem is, among the countless swords in this world, only a select few, those with an unbreakable spirit, can wield its might. It's impossible to know the true reason why the old gods created the Triforce, but I have a theory of my own. The gods created the Triforce, yet they specifically designed it so that their own kind could never use its power. Somehow I think that may have been their way of giving hope to all the mortal beings of the land. Which brings us back to you. To face demise and give the land hope, the goddess Hylia needed someone with an unbreakable spirit. That someone is you, Shinsuke. But spirit alone wasn't enough. You have to overcome many trials and awaken the hero within yourself so that you could wield that supreme power. And so I knew that if it meant saving Zelda, you would throw yourself head first into any danger without even a moment's doubt. I used you. The fuck you mean you used? Ugh. This can't be right. I can't begin to tell you how sorry I am for pulling you into all this, Shinsuke. But you have to understand, this is a war, and the fate of the land hangs in the balance. I need your strength to tip the scales in our favor. all that may be, well, intentioned and true, but it doesn't mean it's right. And it doesn't excuse my actions. But I'm prepared to pay the price for what I've done. To ensure that the seal holds, I will remain here in this time, deep in sleep for thousands of years. Shinsuke, I can't say it enough. I'm so sorry for the way I had to involve you in this. But until my memory of things before our lifetime returned to me, I had no idea we were fated to carry such a heavy destiny. Before all this, I was happy just spending my days hanging around with you in Skyloaf. I wanted that feeling to last forever. While it's true that I am Hylia reborn, I'm still my father's daughter and your friend. I'm still your Zelda. When Demise is finally gone, there will be no more need for the seal that binds him. And then I'll be able to wake up. So I'm going to ask you a favor, sleepyhead. Ever since we were kids, I'd always be the one to wake you up when you slept in. But this time, when all this is over, will you come to wake me up? I promise. Damn it. Just when we was about to reunite with Zelda, we gotta do another mission to wake her up. I see you've said goodbye. Now, you must keep the promise you made to her. You must find the Triforce. Return to your time. There is work to be done there. Do not fear for Zelda. I will watch over her here. Go now and fulfill your destiny. Yeah, but we're going to have to do that next week. Only good thing I like about this part is I didn't have to worry about fighting no monsters or anything like that. So that's going to wrap up part 62 of my gameplay of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. If you're not new here, give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down and leave your comment down below. If you're new here, hit subscribe if you like the content and hit that notification bell for my next gameplay of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I'll be back in a minute to do a reaction to Reggie Miller's last game from Game 6 of the 2005 Eastern Conference Semifinals between the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers.